Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Holmdel High School Guidance Department Spring Junior Parent Presentation. This presentation is designed to mirror the individual meetings that have recently begun with each rising senior. At this point, most of you have likely already began exploring the college application process with your child. It is our goal that by the end of this presentation, you will have an overview of what to expect and how to navigate the next 6 months or so. As always, please don't hesitate to reach out to your child's counselor with any questions or concerns. Our website and Instagram account are also two very valuable resources that you may want to utilize throughout this process. This presentation will be presented by the following counselors: Mr. Joe Flores, Ms. Jillian Chandler, Ms. Tracy Marasco, Mrs. Lori Bona, and Ms. Nicole Wilson, myself. Here is an overview of what you can expect to be covered throughout this presentation. We will discuss each of these topics in more detail, beginning with where we are now, the spring of your child's junior year, before moving on to the summer and the fall of your child's senior year. There are a few key words to keep in mind throughout this process. The first being compartmentalize. It can be easy for this process to become overwhelming and can be helpful to break down the process into more manageable and short-term objectives. Focus on the more immediate tasks for right now, such as college visits, research, and standardized testing. The next word is ownership. While your child is lucky to have you there for support, they really should be the ones to take the lead in this process and gain greater independence. Students should be the only ones contacting admissions offices or reaching out to admissions representatives with questions.
There are thousands of schools to choose from, and the goal is to select schools that will offer students the very best fit. Consider what type of schools you are interested in. Community colleges are two-year schools that will allow you to earn credit toward core general education classes while commuting to campus in pursuit of an associate's degree. This can be a final goal for some students or a transitional step in preparation to ultimately transfer to a four-year college. A major benefit of community colleges is low-cost tuition. Alternatively, you may be seeking a four-year college that will offer an opportunity to live on the campus and begin pursuit of your bachelor's degree. When selecting a school, consider the following criteria. Location. This is a primary decision-making factor for most students. How far from home are you comfortable? How easy and accessible is travel to and from your hometown and the campus? Is the campus located near a city? What is the access to shopping, restaurants, and entertainment? Size of campus is also a major factor students will consider when making a decision. This will impact the number of students in classes, as well as the variety of extracurricular activities. It may also impact if classes are instructed by teaching assistants or directly by professors. It will additionally have an impact on if professors are on a first-name basis with students and the kind of rapport students may be able to build with faculty. Additionally, frequency of opportunities to meet new people and the reach of alumni networks may be affected by school size. Be sure when you're selecting a school that they have the major that you're interested in. You may also wish to consider if they've dedicated resources to get the latest technology, labs, and building facilities to support that area of study. Finally, consider the athletic and extracurricular opportunities and if those mirror your interests. If you are a student athlete, look at the division the sports compete in and if that matches the division you're qualified to play in. Naviance is an excellent way to determine which schools may be a fit. It is a springboard to decide where to continue exploration through visiting websites and then taking campus tours. Every student has a Naviance account with unique login credentials that they receive during their freshman meeting. If your student cannot remember their username and password, they should reach out to their counselor. The super match will allow students to answer questions about what they're looking for in an experience and identify schools that meet their needs. Schools can be added to the colleges I'm thinking about list by clicking the heart next to the school's name. Naviance will display detailed information about a college and its features. Its scattergram features are particularly useful visual representations of students who've applied over the past several years. Plot points show applicants' standardized test scores and GPA and tell if they were accepted, denied, or waitlisted. This information is useful in deciding if the school is a safety, where a student exceeds expectations, a target, where the student is on par with historically admitted applicants, or a reach, where the student does not have scores similar to those historically admitted, but is hoping other aspects of their application stand out. Far more than GPA and SAT are typically considered in the admissions process. Items including essays, recommendation letters, and resume are also points of consideration.
During junior year, students should begin taking their standardized tests. They have the option between the SAT and the ACT. There is some difference between the two, but colleges do accept both tests. Not one is preferred over the other. They do accept both of them. Many schools are still test optional, but we do encourage students to take the standardized test. This could end up helping them during the admissions process. There are a few differences between the SAT and the ACT. The SAT focuses on English and math, and during the math section, you can use a calculator on certain sections. On the ACT, there is also a science section. You can use calculators on all the math questions, and there are fewer reading passages. Students should consider their strengths and determine which tests will allow them to showcase their strengths. This is something students should really investigate and determine which test would be best for them. Holmdel High School does offer the SAT throughout the school year. We have 2 tests coming up, one on May 6th and one on June 3rd. Students can register for those at collegeboard.org. The ACT is also offered June 10th and July 15th. You can register for those at actstudent.org. Other criteria that colleges will consider, obviously, are extracurricular activities and community service. Commitment over the multiple years in high school is key to that. They want to see that you're consistent, that you're focusing on extracurricular activities and clubs that you're interested in, that you're focusing on during that time. Work experience is important as well, whether a student works, after school or over the summer, or interns or volunteers. These are all good experiences. They're going to give a student life experience. It shows that also that a student can balance their time with work and school. So that's important for colleges to see as well. Leadership positions are also important. Did you hold a leadership position at your job or in your club or on your team? Were you a captain? Were you a president? Things like that. Did you lead an event during these activities? Those are all important. Recommendation letters obviously are important. We'll talk more about that later. Senior year course load and performance is also key. A lot of students feel that, sometimes senior year isn't as important and they can kind of coast by a little bit, but that's definitely not true. Schools, colleges, and universities are still looking at performance of senior year. Every school will receive a mid-year report, which is quarter 1 and quarter 2 grades. Some more competitive colleges do request quarter 1 grades, so that's important to think about. Students want to stay focused senior year. They want to take those challenging courses that they've been taking throughout the high school career. And, any electives that they take should try to be more focused on what their goals are and what they want to study in college as well. Spring of junior year, we encourage students to start attending college fairs. These are excellent opportunities to learn about the schools, network with admissions representatives. Oftentimes, those admissions reps are on the committees that are selecting applicants. So the more time you take to speak with that representative, to reach out via email afterwards, to contact them with questions, it really does help in the application process. Again, they could be on that committee that's selecting applicants, and they could put in, a good word. They might have a better insight of you as a student as they got to know you during that time. Holmdel High School is hosting a college and career fair April 28th during unit lunch for students. And we are also hosting a college panel in the evening for students and parents, May 17th at 6 p.m. More information will be sent out about this. The panel is a great opportunity for parents to come and meet with college reps as well and ask their particular questions that they may have as well. Again, more information will be sent out about that shortly. Again, during junior year, campus visits, they're a very big piece of this puzzle for the college application process. It's important for students to take the time to visit campuses. We encourage those visits to be during the school year when campus is in session. It'll give students the opportunity to see the campus in full swing, see the other students, meet, maybe some admissions representatives, as well as maybe some professors and other students. It really is important because it gives you the insight into what the school is like from your perspective, how you feel about the school, the vibe that you get. You can only get so much information from looking at a website or what friends say, or a magazine or a ranking or things like that. It's something that's really important for students to do. It's a big investment the next 4 years of your time and your money. So you want to make sure that you really get a good feel when you get on that campus. Definitely take advantage of, guided tours, open houses, departmental information sessions, students for a day programs, all of those things. Colleges do track demonstrated interests. Some track it more than others, but most schools do track it. Demonstrated interest really shows that you're taking the time to go to the website, to send an email, to make a phone call, to do these campus visits. These are all very important things. And it is utilized, again, during the process of picking applications and going over, student interest. We have 2 great links here, getting the most out of your college visits and 61 questions for your college visit. These are great resources to take with you when you're going to visit these colleges. It gives you some important things to keep in mind, some important questions to ask, things like that. Definitely look these over before you attend the college visits and bring them with you. And then afterwards, kind of take some notes with these. It's a really good way to kind of rate your pros and cons of the schools, what you liked, what you didn't like, what they offered versus what they didn't offer, and things like that. So definitely take these with you when you start these tours.
A few months ago, the NCAA removed the requirement that first-year Division I or Division II athletes earn a qualifying score on the SAT or ACT to earn eligibility status. Again, if your child is thinking about playing a Division I or Division II sport, they must create an account on the Eligibility Center and make sure their counselor is aware of this as well, so that the school is able to provide the necessary documentation to earn eligibility status. Students should be prepared to get 2 teacher letters of recommendation, preferably one from math and science and the other from humanities. Your child's counselor is more than happy to write a counselor letter recommendation, which does not count toward the total number of teacher letter recommendations. Some schools at this point only require 1 teacher letter recommendation, but there are a lot of colleges that still want 2, so it is best to be prepared for the maximum amount that a college may request. Recent the better. Junior year is optimal. It does not necessarily have to be the teacher with whom your student has earned the highest grade. Just because they earned an A in the class, if the teacher is not able to provide any more subjective information in the recommendation letter, merely that the student was a top score and earned a top grade, they will not be learning anything new about your student from the recommendation letter, as they are able to see final grades on the official transcript that will be sent with the application. Rather, we tell students to think about the teachers with whom they have the best relationship. Who did you speak the most with? Who did you attend extra help the most with? Who saw you overcome challenges to be able to succeed in the class? Those are the teachers who are able to write more subjective letters with which the colleges is able to then pull from to gain a more broader understanding of the student. It is best to ask teachers by the end of their junior year. The student will be following up with those teachers again in the fall, and then requesting them formally in Naviance. The counselors will be reviewing that in the fall with them when they are seniors. The teacher recs will be sent out via the teacher's Naviance accounts, which they have their own accounts and will be uploaded. Letters from outside sources, such as coaches, bosses, volunteer supervisors, those are considered additional recommendation letters. It is important for the student to see if a college accepts additional recommendation letters. Some colleges state they will not accept or read additional recommendation letters. Those are not submitted through Naviance. We usually tell students when thinking about getting additional letters, because more does not always equal better, what is this person able to provide? What information are they able to speak about that this college admissions counselor cannot get from any other part of your application? There are thousands, tens of thousands of applications that they need to read through, and sometimes reading through letters that don't provide them additional insight is not going to help them when deciding who they wish to bring into their campus in the fall. When students are requesting their recommendation letters from their teachers, it should be done in person and not via email. The senior packet, which is found on the guidance department website, is one of the items that can be completed. It consists of 4 items: the records release form, which is just a signature page that the student and parent or guardian must sign off on to allow Holmdel High School to release grades to a third party, such as a college. Also, it is where the student waives their right to read the recommendation letter and additional waivers as well. The student questionnaire. We recommend students be as detailed as possible on top of already the great things we know we want to write about our students. This will help us make our letters that much more powerful because we can include all the positive stuff that they report about in their questionnaire, or the useful and very moving information that they can provide to us as well. The parent brag sheet. This is a single page which consists of 5 questions that a parent or both parents and guardians are able to complete, which again provides additional insight for us that we can utilize when writing our students' letter recommendation. We additionally need a resume. We have a sample resume on our guidance department website, or some students already have a resume format for which they already have the start of one. We just simply need that completed and updated resume as part of the completed senior packet. Again, this is designated to help us write the best possible recommendation letter for your child. It is far more manageable to complete it over the summer than in the fall, when they wish to have their senior meeting with us, begin sending out their applications, as well as completing homework and classwork and tests.
So during the summer months, students can begin planning for and writing their essays. Common App has already posted the essay prompts for the 23-24 application cycle. And typically when they return in September, students will get help from their senior English teachers. But it is a good idea to get started in the summer with a rough draft, and then maybe the teachers can review those when they return to school. You have to remember, this is an opportunity for students to differentiate themselves from other applicants. So it's a very important piece of the application. And of course, we always encourage students to continue visiting campuses. And although the summer might have a really different vibe than the regular school year when most classes are in session, it is an important task to get on that campus and get a feel for the whole environment. And then in the fall, the guidance department will meet with the senior class in a group just to kind of go over as a refresher of the application process. And then we will conduct individual senior meetings with all seniors when they have completed their senior packet. They will hand in the senior packet in hard copy form. Once that meeting has happened, then transcripts and letters of recommendation may be sent following that meeting. For parents, we have a few evening programs, senior parent night. The date will be determined later on, but it's normally in September. And then we have a financial aid night, which gives an overview of the different forms required for financial aid programs, the FAFSA, the CSS profile, grants, loans, and in general, discussion of the whole process. And that usually takes place sometime in October. And again, we will determine that date at a later time. So in summary, encourage your child to use their summertime wisely, complete the recommended tasks, take time if you need to review this presentation again, have students complete their senior packet, visit colleges, get started on the essays, and complete any final standardized testing. We thank you for viewing this presentation, and just remember your counselors are available for any kind of help. Just shoot them an email or a phone call, and we would be happy to help in any way. Thank you very much.